Hello, my name is Scott Buchheit. I'm a proud graduate of Cornell ILR, a founding board member of the Scheinman Institute on Conflict Resolution, and I've had the privilege of being a labor arbitrator for many years. Today I have the opportunity to speak with you on the subject of deciding the case, and that is what we as arbitrators do. We normally go into hearing rooms, we hear from witnesses, we take exhibits, and then we make a final determination. As in many things in life, however, there are exceptions. Today I'm going to talk to you about a case in which there were two notable exceptions, one of process and one as to who ultimately was the decision maker for the case. Here's a hint, it wasn't me. This was a case that involved a large zoo in a metropolitan area and the union that represented the individuals who took care of the animals in that zoo, including in the primate center. Now, the primate center had a family of gorillas, and there was a dominant male among those in that family by the name of John. I went to the hearing, and the union made its opening statement and explained how the contract provided that senior employees at a certain time of year got to bump, in other words, replace junior employees, and that the individual who this case was about, the grievant, was a senior employee and sought to bump into the position that would take care of the gorillas at the zoo. This was a good employee, never a problem, had always done his job properly. Nonetheless, when the employer made its opening statement, it said that the grievant was unqualified. When I asked why, the employer said, "We need to show you as well as tell you." Thus, the first deviation from normal practice. We went to the zoo to do a site visit, and I was placed in the area in the primate center that only the primate keepers would be allowed into. Believe me, it was not an area where the general public would be. And the employer said, "We want to do an experiment for you. Here's the first half of it." And they placed in the primate center the individual that was currently taking care of the gorillas. And John, the dominant male, came into the area and reacted very favorably, no problem at all. Then the current keeper left, and they placed into the primate care area the individual who was the grievant in this matter. John came into his presence and went crazy. He was completely displeased with the whole situation. It turns out that gorillas, much like humans, have people they like and people they don't like. And for whatever reason, through no fault of the grievant, John simply did not like him. So what did I do? Well, my decision ultimately was that the grievant did have a right, pursuant to the terms of the collective bargaining agreement, to bump into the position. But I also made clear that my determination was not the ultimate decision. The grievant would have a period of time to try to develop a positive relationship with John. And if he did, he could stay in the position. If he could not, then he could be removed from the position. Ultimately, it would be John the gorilla, not me, that would decide this case. So what's the ultimate takeaway from this? That when you're an arbitrator, you're always learning new things. It really is a privilege to be an arbitrator. And if any of you are uncertain as to your future career paths, I urge you to give consideration to the arbitration profession. That's particularly true if you believe you can add an element of diversity broadly defined to the profession. Thank you for sharing these few minutes with me.